Hello, everyone. I'm Sean.
This is whom?
And we are the Courageour Frights, back once again for another movie review. This
Yes.
time we're doing Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yes. Bonjour.
Bonjour. So, little did we know going into this movie that Wakanda Forever was referring to the runtime.
Yes, exactly. That was a long movie,
Yeah.
for sure.
So, I guess we'll do a non-spoilery review first. Just a quick overview,
Yeah.
some points we liked, some things we didn't like, maybe a rating, and then we'll
Yeah.
go into the spoiler stuff. So, what are some things you liked about this movie?
I think the one thing I did kind of like how they at least acknowledged Chadwick Boseman death and like kind of a tasteful. It was very tasteful. Like they
Yeah.
could have really went. They could have really been like really cheesy. I mean, there's parts in this movie where it's like a plot point. So it's like okay, it's like you're using someone's death as a plot point.
I mean, that could be argued either way. Because you could be like, oh, well, they did this to respect him, but then at the same time, you're using a man's death
As a plot point
as
in
a
a movie.
plot point in your movie.
Yeah, and it's like, okay.
Because I know there was maybe not a sizable movement, but there definitely was a movement to recast T'Challa and just keep going. But they decided to do this instead.
Yeah, it's like a different take, I guess, on the Black Panther at this point.
Yeah, and we had a lot of like memoriam stuff. Like the Marvel logo at the beginning is just nothing but Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, and they had like script writing on there too. I was like, I saw. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
Like it had his face and had like scripts on there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so they did do a lot of that. And I feel like it was probably like a big love letter to him from the crew.
Yeah.
Because they all knew him personally.
Yeah, he seems to be someone that was really well liked, at least in that type of when he made like at least Black Panther, at least in Marvel in general, I guess.
Yeah, but like everybody involved in this film were people from the first movie for the most part, so they all knew him personally. So them having a memorial tribute to him probably meant more than if it had been somebody else,
like some random dude.
So they do that a lot, and you can't even talk about this movie without addressing that. So
yeah, this kind
of got that out of the way at the beginning.
Yeah.
One thing I really liked was Talakan, which is the adversary.
There's one that was really. I do like how they did that.
I really liked how everybody knows Wakanda is kind of a combination of many different sub-Saharan African cultures and stuff. And Talakan is sort of a mix of various Mesoamerican cultures. It's Aztecs, it's Mayans, it's all that kind of fused together.
Yeah.
And that was
really well.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool. They did this because the character of Namor, or as they say in this movie, Namor.
Yeah.
Namor is basically the same as Aquaman. It actually came before Aquaman in the comics. Aquaman's actually a ripoff of Namor, which is a rare twist. Yeah. Usually DC came first.
Yeah.
But in this case, Namor came first, and then Aquaman was kind of I don't know if he's a ripoff of Namor, but he's similar. Very similar.
Very similar.
And originally, Namor was the king of Atlantis and all that kind of stuff. So because DC did Aquaman first, another rare thing for DC, Warner Brothers beat Marvel to something.
Water-based movies.
Water-based movies. Which is a thing.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Before you even watch this movie, they had an Avatar like trailer.
Yeah.
And they had Little Mermaid trailer.
Yeah. And I think Aquaman 2 comes out next year.
Yeah, Aquaman 2's coming out. It's like this water-based movies.
Just water everywhere.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like Talakan a lot. I liked how they reworked Namor and how he's basically like Kukulkan now, which is like the Mayan Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, like the serpent god.
Yeah, feathered serpent god. He's got little wings on his ankle.
Yeah. I don't know if that could make you fly very easily. It's like I don't know if that would be able to do it, but
I don't know. Somebody needs to redub scenes where he's flying around to like the Kid Icarus theme.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I do like that. I really liked Namor overall.
That whole part with Alakan, that whole part was cool. I do like that part. They did a pretty decent job with that.
Yeah, I like them a lot. That's a place I'd like to revisit. in the MCU.
Yeah.
The Phase 4, they did this a lot because they gave us like almost a mystical Chinese land, and now we've got like Aztec Mayan land.
Yeah.
Wakanda is like different African places. Yeah, they're doing more of that kind of stuff, and I like it when they expand the world building.
Yeah.
So I'd say that was probably my favorite part of the movie. Anything dealing with them.
Yeah.
Also, there's certain points in the movie where they actually make them almost like a horror thing. Siren stuff going on.
Yeah.
When they attack the first time we see them, and they're like
doing some weird like chant, like a hypnotic chant.
Yeah, hypnotic chant. The one person's just like not paying attention, and they're like, "Oh, we lost that guy's vital signs. Can you check on him?" And she just turns around, the guy's
screaming,
gone. Yeah,
it's like great.
And then at one point, Namor has like a jump scare.
Yeah, I know. What was that? It was like even been like an orchestra thing too.
Yeah,
for no reason whatsoever.
So they're like making him into a horror thing, which I thought was pretty cool. But so that's like our things we liked, I guess.
Yeah.
What are some things you didn't like?
Witnessing was one of them.
Yeah.
Like this movie's long. Like it feels long.
That's Wakanda Forever.
It's almost like they probably needed to cut at least 30 minutes off this movie. Probably more. I don't even know if he could though. I'm thinking like, could they even cut some parts of that movie?
There's definitely some stuff they could shave off. I feel like
minutes here and there.
Without giving too much away, I feel like most of the stuff concerning Everett Ross.
Yeah.
He's like Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah, Bilbo Baggins.
I don't feel like almost anything he does is important in this film.
He's like there, and I don't know if it's, or maybe it's probably doesn't spoilers, but there's another character that shows up, and I wonder if they're just doing that because they're building up to something else.
It could be.
Yeah, and it's like it's really strange because they talk about it a little bit. I guess this will be ours.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the whole movie in the spoiler section, but yeah, so I'd say I would agree with that, and I feel like the ending kind of loses some.
It's probably like the last
momentum
hour. Because it kind of like there's like part in the movie and you can tell it's just like
it's sorry, there's a certain point and then it kind of unravels.
Yeah, and it's like if you really think about it, it doesn't make any sense.
And there's kind of a lot of stupid stuff that happens towards the end.
Yeah.
Some strange decisions
or like explanations.
That too. So overall, what would you rate this film?
I'm gonna give it like a 6.
The 6?
Yeah, I'll give it a 6.
Yeah.
I pretty much gave like all these Phase 4 movies like pretty much the same score.
Pretty much. I think everything is 6. Yeah, I'm gonna say about the same.
Yeah.
Like 6.5.
Not bad, but it's not like it's because it's so long.
Yeah.
That it's just like okay, because it's I don't know, it's just weird. It's just like it's just a long movie.
Right.
It feels long. It's because like Endgame is 3 hours.
Yeah.
Or maybe more than that. I don't even remember how long.
It's more than 3 hours.
But it doesn't feel like it's 3 hours. This movie feels like it's 3 hours.
It's because they have like an action beat or something going on at a consistent pace.
Yeah, this one is like you'll do action for like 15 minutes and then long stretches of like
nothing
dialogue and like this stuff that's like not really that interesting.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to like an action scene for like 10 minutes. And then it'll go back to a like scene that's like a drama scene almost.
Yeah.
And then it'll go back to another action scene for like 10 minutes, and then it's like long again, and it's like, oh gosh. Like it needs to be a little bit better, like paced out. At least to me, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. So yeah, I'm just gonna say probably about the same, like a 6, 6.5, somewhere in that range. It's above average, but it's not fantastic.
It's not like a fantastic movie.
And I'm not one of the people that thought the first one was like top tier either. Like I do enjoy Black Panther, but to me that first one's like the 7 or something.
It's so enjoyable that I don't remember anything about the first one except like Killmonger.
Yeah, and
that was like even I didn't remember that. Like you do. Like that guy.
Oh yeah, that guy.
That's Michael B. Jordan.
It's Michael B. Jordan. I know him.
His name is Kill, and he's a monger. Killmonger.
Yeah, that's a good name.
He just kills things. But other than that, I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I know, man. I don't even know if this movie's going to make even close to what the original movie made.
I'm not sure.
That made $1.3 billion.
Yeah.
It's during its run.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this one's gonna make. We'll see.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our non-spoiler review for Wakanda Forever. So now let's go into the spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
So I guess we're going to talk about the whole movie like we always do.
Yes. And ramble.
We're going to ramble and get off topic. Even our non-spoiler review kind of rambles.
Yeah.
So this movie begins with the passing of T'Challa. Very similar to the actual death of Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
So he passes away off screen due to an unknown illness.
Yeah, just illness.
He has illness.
Yeah.
And Shuri is trying to replicate the heart-shaped herb that makes you into Black Panther because somehow that'll cure his unknown illness. But
maybe the herb gave him or whatever.
I have no idea. Maybe he needs more. So that actually could be an explanation.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't use that.
Yeah.
They could have. They could be like, once you take the herb, you have to keep taking it or you die.
Yeah, because that's like, it doesn't make any sense because why did he get an illness?
Yeah, because they should have just done that. Because there's no herbs left because Killmonger destroyed them all.
Yeah, he destroyed everything, but at the same time, he would have killed himself. It would have been like poetic, I guess you could say.
I guess.
Because he would have needed to do that, we would get some sort of illness. Because there's a reason why, that would make more sense because we learn about, I guess, I don't know if this is where we go, about the Tenochtitlan, or I don't even know their names.
Talakon or
Talakons. They literally died and turned into fish people.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But it's like that could have been an explanation. It'd be like,
that should have been an explanation. They should have just done that. Should have been like, once you consume this flower or herb or whatever, you have to have regular doses.
Yeah.
Or you die.
Or you just die.
Kind of thing. Yeah. But they don't do that. They're just like unknown illness.
It's unknown illness that he cured himself. Because if you take it again, it just cures you.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense either.
Well, that's your first plot.
First plot holes are 15 seconds on that. We didn't think about the first time. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
15 seconds in, you got your first plot hole. So they go from that to... So T'Challa dies, they have a funeral. And then, like, a year later...
Yeah.
The Queen gets called into a UN meeting.
Yeah, with the French and the United States is like, you haven't done anything to help anyone.
Yeah, you're not actually doing anything.
Why didn't a vibranium is like something that causes weapons of mass destruction or something like that.
Yeah, and meanwhile, as this is happening, well, I guess before this is happening, there was a French attack on a Wakandan research base in Mali, and they get their asses beat by the Dora Milaje or whatever, the woman guard.
Yeah,
and so they drag in these French mercenary guys or whatever, special forces guys, into the UN meeting.
And she makes a point that there's no vibranium outside of Wakanda.
There is.
Yeah, except there is.
So we cut to the next scene where they're at a research, like, oil rig thing.
Yeah.
And they have this machine that was built by some super genius who we'll get to later on. It's searching for vibranium.
Yeah.
And they find some vibranium at the bottom of the ocean. But then suddenly they're attacked by Talakon.
Yeah, Talakon attacks them
with sirens.
Yeah, siren noises, like
the mythical siren.
Yeah,
where they're just like singing and it causes people to throw themselves off.
Yeah, they go into the water because they're trying to go towards the sound.
Yeah, and then it's a pretty cool action scene.
That's pretty good. Like that action sequence is really good.
And this part is kind of the horror element I was talking about because they show the two divers at the bottom, and then one person looks away and looks back, and the guy's like gone.
Yeah,
he's freaking out. Yeah,
it's like it's dark. It's like dark. That is pretty effective. It's like that's a pretty good, effective, like screening and stuff. Like it's like dark and it's like it's that horror effect.
Yeah, so that was cool. And then
this is actually where you start seeing because they come out of the water and they're like killing everyone there.
Yeah. And then the U.S. government blames Wakanda for it.
Yeah, because they're like, Wakanda's the only place that has vibranium. Why would they be wanting to get the vibranium back?
Right. So then they find So Shuri, knowing that this is happening, goes and contacts Ross,
Yeah.
who is jogging in the forest.
Yeah, because I think actually before that, because it's been a year, the Queen and Shuri,
Oh yeah,
they want to like. She's like, it's been a like, do you know what day this is? And it's like, this is a year since it's passing.
it's Tuesday.
So they're like, we're going out to the bush to like basically finalize their mourning, basically.
And then while they're mourning,
Siri becomes a nihilist.
Shuri, like, I want the world to burn or whatever. And then Namor appears out of the water and is like, you want the world to burn? And says,
I heard burning.
I heard burning. I like that.
Yeah.
So then he basically thinly veil threat.
Yeah, and he's like,
Wakanda.
there's a machine that can find vibranium.
Yeah.
And it was in our kingdom area, I guess.
Yeah. So he basically threatens Wakanda.
Yeah, it's like you find the scientists or we come back and attack you.
Yeah, pretty much. So then they go to Ross. He tells them that the scientist is some genius at Cambridge University. Yeah. We find out as Riri Williams, who will be getting her own TV show on Disney Plus because, of course, why wouldn't she?
Yeah.
So it's Ironheart. She's like off-brand Iron Man.
Yeah. She wears a Optimus Prime suit.
At first.
Optimus Prime cosplay.
The first time she shows up in an Optimus Prime suit, later in the show, she gets a new upgraded suit that looks like a B or C tier tokusatsu series. Like Power Rangers or Beetleborgs.
Yeah.
Kamen Rider, maybe. So it's in that vein. She doesn't have great designs.
No.
She's actually not as annoying as I thought she'd be, though.
Yeah, she was alright. It was like
I didn't actually mind.
We didn't get very much. She's only in like 4 scenes.
Yeah,
she's not in a very big part, so she could possibly get to that point where it's like, okay, this is annoying.
It'd be annoying because she's only in 4 scenes, and one of her lines is. So maybe she could.
It gets to that point where it's like,
"Are you cringe?
Yeah, are you cringe?
You might be.
Are you dank or dumb?
It might be maybe a bit both."
Yeah.
So yeah, they get to her. They go to a garage or something that she works on stuff because she built that giant underwater vibranium detector on her own with scraps in a garage.
Yeah, literally in a garage. It's like a junkyard or something. It's like just random parts.
But the thing was like the size of a submarine.
Yeah, it's like you built that in a garage.
Riri Williams built that with a box of scraps in a garage.
And that was another thing that was kind of weird. Was they said they only had one machine.
Yeah.
If the military knew that they had this could find vibranium, wouldn't they be like trying to figure out how to make this like instantly?
Well, yeah, but they do magically get a second machine at some point.
Yeah, it's true.
So maybe they did.
They have more than I guess they must have more than one machine.
But anyway, so they try to kind of smuggle her out.
Yeah.
But then they get first the FBI shows up.
Yeah, for some weird reason.
Oh, because no. I was gonna say Elaine shows up, but that's later on.
Yeah, they said they show up for I don't really remember the reason why they show up.
So anyway, yeah, she shows up during the investigation or something later on.
Yeah,
that's
like right.
They have a big kind of chase scene thing,
yeah,
and then
this is where like the first action scene shows up.
Yeah, and then Tomokon dudes show up. They have a big fight on the bridge.
Yeah,
Okoye, who went with Shuri, but she gets into a fight with one of the guys, and they end up capturing Riri and Shuri.
Yeah, because Shuri's like, "Don't kill her. Take me to your leader, basically."
To your leader.
Take me to your leader.
Yeah, and then Okoye swims back to Wakanda.
He's in the water because they use like those water grenade. It's like literally a water balloon, a high-powered water balloon,
high-impact water balloons. So they end up in Talokan where they meet Namor.
Yeah, Namor.
And Namor gives his whole backstory.
Yeah, because this is where it kind of doesn't make any sense either.
This is where the fun begins.
Yeah, because he's like, he talks like his mother because he's like, your mother is human. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, well, everything's human.
But he specifically says he's a mutant. He like literally says he's a mutant.
Yeah, this is the first mention of mutants.
Yeah, and it's like,
MCU.
So I'm assuming they haven't got to the X-Men part of it, but
the movies. Miss Marvel's apparently.
Oh, yeah, it's true. She's like, I'm a mutant.
But in the movie side of things,
Yeah, we
this is
see
the first mention.
Yeah, first mention of the mutants here.
Yeah. And why is he a mutant?
Yes, because I guess when the Spanish came, they brought smallpox with them.
Yeah.
So all like the Mayan tribes, I guess, were getting smallpox and dying. So the one shaman, I guess, does like a commune with one of the gods, and he's like, "Oh, there's this rock. There's like this rock with some plant that grows on top of it. Go grab it." He swims in the water. He grabs the thing, and then he's like, "Drink this blue liquid."
Drink this blue milk.
Yeah, and then everyone drinks it. And then he specifically says that everyone dies.
Yeah. He says they died and then they were like reborn as like blue fish people.
Yeah, they reborn as the Avatar people.
Yeah. Without tails.
Yeah, and they have like gills on their like their necks and stuff. Like, we need to like run out of here but the one lady, his mother didn't want to actually take it at first because
she was pregnant,
and he was like, "What's this going to do to my baby?"
Well,
like, yeah, it did a lot.
What it did was it made him like a god. Apparently, that was one hell of an herb.
Yeah, exactly.
So it gives him the power of flight because he has wings growing out of his ankles.
The power of pointed ears.
He has pointed ears.
Yes.
And he can go in and out of the water without turning blue.
Yes. Everyone else can turn blue. Everyone goes in the water, they turn their normal skin color. They come out of the water, they're blue. It doesn't make any sense. They do it multiple times, so it must be the reason why.
Yeah. And they have like respirators.
Yeah, they have like those weird water respirators. But then that's like the whole explanation. They're like, they kind of drove him out. Then when his mother like passed away, because they can live a long time.
He lives like for 400 years or something.
So he's like, his mother was like, her last wish was to kind of go back to where she was born at.
Yeah.
Because she was like, she didn't really want to go into the water, but they had to.
Right.
And when he comes back out of the water, and there's like a Spanish like fort or something.
Like plantation.
Yeah, and they're like beating up all like the local tribes, or they're like basically enslaved them or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, then they kind of shoot him. They call him like the devil or whatever. And they start shooting at him, and then they kill everyone. The priest is like, "You're no more," which is the child without love or something.
Yeah, without love is no more.
Yeah, and then they kill him. He's like, "That's where I got my name." So I got the origin story of his name.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It's pretty good. Like, I did like that.
Like I said, I liked almost everything about
Talokan. That Talokan thing is pretty good. It's a really good. And then that's pretty much the base of this backstory, I guess you can say.
Yeah. So while all that stuff's happening, we get the stuff with Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
She shows up. We find out she's actually Bilbo Baggins' ex-wife.
Yes.
Which was an interesting plot twist. And she's doing something.
Yeah, I think she's like trying to investigate this thing or something.
Yeah, I'm
not
sure what his purpose is in this.
Bilbo Baggins found a ring of pebbles.
Yes.
And that was like the communicator.
Yeah. So he's secretly in communication with Wakanda.
And he does it like it's like really awkwardly trying to hide it, because she like looks at him and then he puts it in his pocket. So it's like, you obviously picked that up off the ground.
I saw you put that.
Yeah, you put that in that pocket. And he's like,
and he acts surprised that she knows. And then, but anyway, back to the actual plot.
Yeah.
Because Elaine from Seinfeld doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, they probably could have took all those parts out.
Yeah, that's
except maybe like the very end or something.
Unless that crap's setting up like the Thunderbolts and stuff later on. But in this movie, it's not that important. So because Okoye screwed up and got Shuri captured, the queen fires her.
Yeah.
And then the queen goes to Haiti, where she meets up with Nakia.
Yeah.
Who was like T'Challa's girlfriend or wife or whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember. Like, I don't remember that character like at all.
And that's played by Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah.
And so she goes there, she tasks her with finding Shuri, which she does.
Mm-hmm.
She goes down there to Talokan and rescues Shuri and Riri, but she ends up killing one of the people that were there.
Actually, before that, like, Namor gives her like a wrist bracelet.
Yeah.
That was made with the fibers of that plant that they.
Oh,
it's like important plot point for later on.
Yeah, it seems like it's not important at all, and then it is.
Yeah.
So that happens, and while that's going on, Namor goes to Wakanda.
Yeah, because like I think like when Namor goes and talks to basically tell him to get the scientist, he's like like blow into this conch cell,
Yeah,
and I'll be there.
yeah.
Somehow. I don't know.
Hear it from the other side of the world.
You know.
And so he's distracted, goes there, comes back. So this poor girl got shot.
Yeah.
And then Namor swam to Wakanda from Yucatan.
Yeah.
And then swam back. And she's still bleeding out the whole time.
That's stupid.
And she's like, "Can you save me?" And
yeah, I know. It's like
he doesn't even say anything. She just dies.
It's like literally, it's been like 4 weeks. Like it's like not even like it wasn't like a day. It was like 4 weeks. It was not even like. It was not even a day. It was a long period of time. Because I'm pretty sure swimming from the Yucatan, like swimming, like just regularly swimming, would take you at least a little bit.
I would think.
I mean, even riding on the humpback whales didn't take that long. Like it'd take at least like a week to get there.
You would think. So anyway, that basically triggers a war.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm going to go fight you now.
So they get Shuri and Riri, they get all the Rees back to Wakanda, but then shortly after that, Namor attacks.
Yeah.
Because Wakanda is apparently has a river connected to the ocean.
Yeah.
And somehow no one discovered Wakanda before. Nobody ever followed the river and found Wakanda.
Yeah, you literally can just swim underwater and you get in there.
Yeah.
It's like every other way you can't get in there except swimming underwater.
Yeah, so apparently Wakanda is connected to the ocean now.
Yes. And
so Namor attacks. He like wrecks the place.
Yeah, he's like killing, but I think his whole thing was to kill the queen. I think that's what it was like his goal, like which
he does do.
Or at least attack
inadvertently kills the queen.
He throws them water balloons.
It's almost like Green Goblin's pumpkin, but they're filled with water. Yeah. They're filled with high intensity
water,
C4 water.
Yeah, exactly,
and it blows through the bulletproof glass.
Yeah,
that's on the
window. Like the vibranium-proof glass.
Vibranium-proof glass, and then it throws the queen into her little lake that she has in the center of her palace chamber.
I think her own hubris beat her.
And then she drowns trying to save Riri, who also fell in the water. And then that sets off Shuri.
Yeah, Shuri becomes more nihilistic.
She becomes full nihilist.
She's like a nihilist Black Panther.
And then they decide that she should go back to trying to replicate the.
Yeah, because I think her thing is trying to like fight Namor. They're like, we need to fight him because we need to bring the fight to him, basically.
Right. And
then they're like, wow, how'd you do that? We'll fight on the ocean, I guess. And like in their territory, literally in their territory.
Fight them in the ocean. That would be a good idea. And but M'Baku actually shows up in this. And he shows up during the fight.
Yeah.
He tries to fight Namor, and he's like no match at all.
He gets like one punch.
Destroyed.
It's like a one punch man punch in the chest. And he like.
Yeah. And then he shows up in a role.
That he's like, what do you want to do? And I guess her plan was to bring all the people to the Jabari lands, like in the mountains.
Yeah.
And that's like refugees, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So Wakanda's all hiding out in M'Baku's territory.
Yeah.
And he tries to get her to be more reasonable, but she wants to kill Namor.
Yeah, it's like, I want to kill Namor because my heart is buried with my mother's death or like
something.
Like, what are you talking about? It's like, you are a full nihilist.
This full of hate.
Like dreams. Where do they come from? Where do they go? I want to destroy them all. Yeah, that's literally what's happening.
So anyway, she goes back and she figures out how to replicate the blue herb because of the fibers on the bracelet.
Yeah, and using like Chadwick Boseman's like DNA sequence
for some reason. And then it creates like an STL file, which she uses to 3D print. She 3D prints the herb, and then they melt down the 3D printed plastic herb, and then she drinks that.
That was so stupid. It's like literally it prints out this plant, but it's not a plant because it's on a 3D printer. It's made of like rubber.
and then they melt it.
And then she takes it.
And she drinks it and then trips out.
Yeah.
She hallucinates from drinking the plastic. And then she goes to the ancestral realm.
Yeah.
And who does she meet in the ancestral realm?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan is sitting in actual
Killmonger.
Actual Michael B. Jordan, not Killmonger. It's just literally Michael. No, it's a Killmonger from the first movie who is her uncle or cousin.
Yeah, because she's like mother, but she's like, no, I do that. I do shit.
I get shit done.
Done. You literally just you don't even see him. He just says, "I get shit done." It's like what?
So yeah, she's his cousin or something.
Yeah.
So she gets freaked out because that's who she saw.
Yeah, it's like, oh, why didn't I see like the Black Panther, like T'Challa, or
because she's full of hate.
Yeah,
she's like, why?
Like pretty much that's it. She's like, I see all hate, and what's her name? I don't know T'Challa's like girlfriend or whatever. I don't know her name.
Oh, Nakia.
Yeah, Nakia. Nakia's like, who did you see? And she's like, I didn't see anyone.
Yeah,
she's like multiple times. It's like
lying.
You're like, I'm lying. You're lying,
liar. So anyway, she gets Black Panther strength.
Yeah,
from drinking the 3D printed flour.
Well, why don't you just make a bunch of 3D printed stuff?
Well, they
do it.
They do later on. She's got a whole garden of them at the end.
Like, why just keep making them? Just like keep making them, give it to all the people of Wakanda.
And right, and you can have like 10,000 Black Panthers.
Yeah, not just like one, unless it's like
hereditary or something.
Because thinking about like the way the telecons,
whatever.
Them, they just turn into those like fish people.
Yeah.
So it must be like hereditary. Something must happen if you're not like have a specific genome or something.
Maybe that's why they need T'Challa's DNA or something.
Yeah. And
she would have T'Challa's DNA in her anyway.
Yeah. Because they're like she's like her sister or whatever.
Right. So I don't know.
But they should have they should have really went with the you needed the plant to like survive throughout, because that's the only thing that makes sense.
Right.
Not an illness killed them.
Yeah.
Actually thinking about it.
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, they do that. So not only does she build that, she also builds 2 suits for the Dora Milaje people, but they look like Predator.
Yeah, the Predator suits.
So she builds Predator mech suits. She builds a new suit for Riri.
Yeah.
And
she builds a dubstep machine.
2 dubstep machines. 2 dubstep machines. She has a mask
that's
custom fit.
Yeah, 3D printed mask
for herself
that just came out of the ground. And like literally she does this
she does all of this in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then
she puts skillerets
Rolex. And then we find out Namor's weakness.
Yeah, that's the other.
Where does Namor get his powers?
Apparently, he can breathe since he doesn't turn blue on the land.
Yeah,
everyone else does. So they figure that he needs to get his oxygen. He can get oxygen through his skin.
Yeah.
So he's getting oxygen from both underwater and on the air. So he's getting 2 times the oxygen, and that's why it's giving him super strength.
You know, oxygen is so overrated, we sometimes forget that. And in too high a concentration, oxygen becomes nothing more than deadly shit. Prolonged exposure to that kind of stuff will, wreck the environment. It has toxic effects. Give you a sore throat, too, which you can get cleared up, but you start coughing up and have problems. But I'll tell you one thing, man, if you get them old high pressure levels dang way up there like that of oxygen, most life forms we know it ain't gonna be worth a shit.
That was their explanation.
Because he's got double oxygen.
It's double the oxygen. Stupid.
All right.
That's where he's getting his super strength from. It's why he's so fast, is because he gets double the oxygen. And what beats him is space heaters.
Yeah. So
dry heat.
Ryan Coogler said in an interview that he's as strong as Thor and potentially stronger than the Hulk underwater. But if you just stick him in a room with a bunch of space heaters and dry him out, he's defenseless.
He's defenseless, pretty much.
His kryptonite is dry heat.
Yeah.
So
great.
They go and have their epic battle where they get the Wakandan aircraft carrier. and they go to the ocean, the middle of the ocean,
Yeah.
fight the
Yeah, because they're like,
Bushmen.
there's another vibranium machine. So they go up to the vibranium machine, and then Skillerix plays. And everyone starts running away because they're like, can't stand the dubstep music.
Yeah, well, that's understandable.
Yeah. It drives everything away. Even the whales that we're with.
Yeah. And then so Talcon attacks the ship. They have this big battle between the Wakandans and Talcon people.
Yeah.
And in the middle of it, Namor and Shuri fight. Well, Riri lures Namor, I guess.
She brings him up to the air.
Yeah.
And then she shoots him with like some sort of net or something.
Something. And he ends up in the ship like in a force field thing.
Full of space heaters.
Yeah.
It literally is space heaters. That's not like a trick. It literally was space heater.
And then they're like flying him to the desert.
Yeah, he's like, we need to get to the desert. But at the meantime, he has a spear made of pure vibranium, and he's choking the ship.
It's like having the ship, yeah.
Like,
and so the AI on the ship's like, oh, maybe you should do something about that.
To do that, but Shuri can't fight, so she's getting beat up on the ship.
So that's one of my other problems with this. So you have I suppose it has to be hereditary, or else this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So they 3D print the plant, and so they can make somebody Black Panther, but they choose the one person in all of Wakanda that has no combat experience.
Yeah, she literally has like no muscle mass because she's been in a lab this whole
She's
time.
a scientist.
Yeah, she doesn't exercise. She's like there.
She invented like 15 new suits in like 20 minutes.
Wow.
She also need to have superpowers.
Yeah, exactly. She does everything.
She's kind of everything. They should have had, unless the hereditary thing is true, they should have given the powers to Okoye or M'Baku or literally anybody, Nakia, any of them.
Yeah.
Would have been a better choice than Shuri.
Yeah, Shuri's like, I still don't know how I feel about that, because it's like she's the new Black Panther.
Yeah, she's the new Black Panther, which we knew was pretty much knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
But she takes on a friggin' Mayan god.
Yeah, it just like beats him.
Even though he's dried up at this
point. He's like can't fight really, and he's like beating him.
She's fighting him, and then during that fight, so meanwhile there's the big fight between Wakanda and Talcon, which Talcon like wipes the floor.
Yeah, literally there's like 5 guys left in the Wakandan army. Yeah,
they like get destroyed.
Yeah.
Because they're fighting in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, they're doing like the siren attacks and everything. It's not like they're like in the worst possible spot to fight this thing.
Yeah, because they do the siren thing and kill like all the pilots.
Because they didn't have a backup plan to their dubstep machine that blown up with their water balloon.
Yeah, because somebody came with a whole bag.
It was like they went to the party store and got a bunch of water balloons.
Like 100 pack. Threw them all in there and blew it up. And then, because they had like 2 humpback whales like hauling a giant bag of water balloons.
It's like, screw this dubstep. We're blowing this thing up.
And so they get wrecked. And then Shuri's fighting
Namor.
And Namor like stabs her through the chest, like through the stomach.
Yeah.
It goes out her back.
Yeah, he's like twisting it too. He's like, it's not like just stabbing. It's like him twisting the thing in his.
And he impales her to a rock.
Yeah.
And then he's like walking away from her or whatever.
It's like, I need water.
Yeah, he's like, I need water. So he's like stumbling towards the ocean.
Yeah.
But then something clicks. And I remembered the one thing that Disney has taught me.
Yes.
So my 35 years on this planet, Disney has taught me one thing. And that is
revenge does wonders for the will to live.
Exactly.
And we realize that Shuri is so full of vengeance and hatred, and this is a stomach wound.
Yeah.
So she just pulls that thing out of her like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And she instantly heals up because of all of her built-up vengeance.
Yes.
And then she gets revenge by pole vault jumping over Namor.
I don't think that was I think he was like, she was gonna try to tackle him, but I think he was catching his breath at the time.
Yeah.
He misses him. She misses the jump.
She jumps over him. I thought she was just gonna go like tumbling into the ocean.
She misses the jump, but it's like, oh crap.
Yeah. She like jumps clean over him, and then he's so impressed that he just says, what the hell is he saying? Tyrannosaurus Rex?
Yeah. He says like Indominus Rex or something. It's like He's like, I watched Jurassic World the other day. He's like, I watched Jurassic World. He must be like delusional. Like I willingly went to watch Jurassic World.
My personal theory about that scene is that there was a deleted scene between the two of them.
Yeah.
Where when they were bonding.
Yeah.
And Shuri's like, so what's your favorite dinosaur? And he says, I'm not telling. I only tell my closest friends that.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he says Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
And then that's when they realize that's when he yields.
Yeah, he says Imperatus Rex.
So we're joking, but he says Imperatus Rex.
Yeah, I don't know why. Why did he even say that? It didn't make
He didn't say that. The subtitles
that's true.
said something in Mayan, and it translated as like Imperator Rex or
like, what is he talking about?
Imperatus Rex or something. It was like, what the hell?
And then she's like, Wakanda forever. She just says something, and then like the flames come out.
Yeah, she blows something up and it like burns his whole back up, but except for his pants.
His pants are still there.
They're
like,
still
I'm glad his pants are still on.
They're still intact.
And
so they take him back to the battlefield where, like we said, there's like 5 Wakandans left.
Yeah.
And then they make the Talokan yield.
Yeah, because she has a spear over top of him, and she's like, yield, or we won't reveal your secret to anyone or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then I guess she sees a vision. This will get rid of. She cures her nihilism because she sees a vision of her mother.
Yes.
And she's like, show you your real self or whatever. It's like, I will help you not get caught or get seen by whatever.
So then all of the Wakandans say Wakanda forever. They do like their X cross arms. And then all the Talakans make their Kamehameha gesture.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the fight's over. Back at Talakan, Namora, who's the one female,
you see her all the time. Like she sees her a couple times.
Very original names. Yeah. Talakan. There's Namor and Namora. And Namora is like, why do we surrender?
Yeah, because we would have beat them. Like literally would have beat them.
There was like 5 people left and you gave up.
Yeah.
And they're like, because one day Wakanda will be invaded by someone and they'll beg us for help.
Yeah.
And then we will come to their aid. And she's like, what?
Like the alliance, because we have an alliance now.
Do we?
Yeah, it's like you didn't sign anything. I mean,
is that an alliance? Because I said it, Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
We now have an alliance.
Like that was another scene that didn't make any sense. It's like, so they're gonna think that someone's just gonna attack Wakanda now?
Yeah. Somebody's gonna attack. Well, America wants to for some reason.
Yeah, there was a scene later on. He's like, we want to fight. We want to launch an attack against Wakanda because.
And then
reasons? I don't know.
Ross is like, I don't think that's a good idea.
It's like, I don't think it's a good idea. You want to attack the most advanced nation in the world?
Yeah.
Like maybe we should look at the third party that they were telling us about. Like my sources said there's a third party.
Yeah, but your sources never said anything what the third party is.
Yeah, they're like another party other than Wakanda?
Yeah.
Yes, let me go investigate this. I don't want to go fight the Wakandans for no reason at all.
Yeah.
But
so anyway, that's basically the movie. Shuri, at the very ends, they have the new like ceremony for the king and ruler, and then you think Shuri's gonna come out of the ship, and it turns out it's M'Baku.
And he's like, I want to fight someone for the throne.
Yeah, so we're back to that again.
Yeah.
Back to challenging people in Mortal Kombat for the throne. But I don't think anybody's going to challenge M'Baku. I think it's just
probably
like
going to be a king. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure M'Baku's king. Shuri decided to go to Haiti to go live with Nakia.
Yeah, at least go. She wanted to do the final ceremony because that ritual was like burning of their like robes.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the final part of their mourning.
Yeah, and then we get a post-credit scene where we find out that Nakia comes out with a boy.
Yeah.
And we find out that's T'Challa's son.
Which I thought that was an orphan. An orphan from the orphanage.
Some guy in the theater was like, I knew it.
Yeah, I know.
And you're like, yeah, that's some kid from the orphanage. Yeah. So.
But he's like, my name is Tuso, but that's my Christian name. It's like, but my real name is T'Challa.
His name was like Tucson.
This is the way we talk in Tucson, Arizona.
Tucson. It was like, but my real name is T'Challa.
Yeah.
Son of King
T'Challa.
T'Challa.
Yeah, Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Challa.
Like, you don't want to tell that to M'Baku because you're gonna like Rafiki sticks. That's
That's why
I challenge you to the throne.
that's why T'Challa didn't want anybody to know.
Because she makes a point to say that.
Well, because they say it the polite way. They say they didn't want to have him deal with the burden of the throne.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's because T'Challa realizes his country is fucking insane.
Yeah.
And they decide kings by spear fights to the death on a waterfall cliff face.
Well, everyone's like around dancing around them.
Yeah. So he didn't want his 6-year-old son to have to fight to the death with M'Baku. He just batters up with that stick and just like
that kid's gonna be like, bonjour. I'm T'Challa. Prince T'Challa,
son of King T'Challa, and then M'Baku just gives him like a drive right to the head.
Just like a Super Smash Brothers hit.
Bat knocks him 2 miles away off the waterfall. So that is Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
So that's the entire film. As far as I know, there's no post-credit scenes, just that mid-credit.
Yeah, the mid-credit scene. I think I kind of looked it up. But it's like there's no post-credit scene because I think this is the final movie in Phase 4.
Yeah,
because it kind of makes sense because it doesn't like link to anything.
No one Phase 4 linked to anything.
Yeah.
So.
Which because the new one I think is supposed to be about like Kang.
Yeah,
and that's like officially Phase 5.
Right. Ant-Man Quantumania is the next one, which is in February, which is actually sooner than I realized.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, that is Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
I was honestly trying so hard not to laugh during that final fight scene.
Yeah.
Especially when the whole revenge does wonders to live thing popped up in my head.
Yeah.
And then he says that Imperator Rex thing.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's like, what are you talking about?
What is happening?
I think once Shuri comes back to Wakanda, it definitely looks like it falls apart.
Takes
if you really think about it.
It takes a bit of a nosedive.
Yeah, it's like I don't think they knew what they were doing at the end. Like they didn't know where to go. Almost. Like they had a fight scene, but they didn't have. They were trying to explain some things and try to explain.
To explain Namor's double oxygen.
Yeah, double oxygen powers. His super oxygen strength.
Yeah.
It's like what would happen? If just gave him like an oxygen tube, or like an oxygen tank. Would he just like be like the most powerful being?
At least he'd have triple oxygen.
Yeah, he'd be like no one. He'd be unstoppable.
He'd be more powerful than Captain Marvel.
Yeah, he'd probably be more powerful than that thing from Thor: Love and Thunder that gives you wishes.
Oh yeah.
At this point,
yeah, pretty much. Maybe he can grant wishes with
3 times. Yeah.
The powers are endless.
Don't go to like Rite Aid or Walgreens and go buy those oxygen. Be like
invincible.
Be like invincible.
Never-ending oxygen supply.
You'd be Namor, the oxygen man.
Yeah. So
like pure oxygen. That's stupid.
That was pretty stupid.
Like that's their explanation. Come on, you could have got some other explanation because of that. But
that's why he's pointy ears.
Yeah, his pointed ears because he's a mutant.
Because of oxygen.
Because of oxygen. Pure oxygen.
I think whoever wrote that is oxygen deprived.
Yeah, probably. He was up too late.
So that is it for Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
If you like this rambling nonsense, then give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing for more other related buffoonery.
Yes.
We'll see you next time on Courageour Frights.
Yes.
See ya.
Yeah.